channel. Today I filmed this full face drugstore makeup tutorial. I mainly used a lot of Maybelline products because I got a lot of new products from them, and especially this beautiful new palette. I was super inspired by this palette, so this look is kind of based on the tones of this palette and a bunch of new things from Maybelline and just drugstore in general, because I did this whole face using all drugstore products. A lot of them are new, some of them are old. So if you guys want to see how I got this full face drugstore makeup tutorial, then please keep on watching. Okay guys, so let's get right into this makeup tutorial. I'm going to first start with the eyes like I usually do, and I'm going to use this beautiful new palette from Maybelline. This is their Nudes of New York palette, literally filled with all stunning beautiful nudes. You get like a variety of mattes, metallics, there's some satins in there. It's just a really stunning palette, and this is what inspired me to film this tutorial, was this palette. I actually did a poll on Instagram to see if you guys wanted to see a look with this, and a lot of you guys said yes. So for this tutorial I'm going to be using pretty much all drugstore products, and a lot of them are new, so that's really exciting. So you guys will see my reaction on camera. So I'm just going to zoom you guys in and we'll get started with the eyes. I do have my brows done already, and I have a concealer, just the ColourPop no filter one, as an eyeshadow base, and that's all I have right now on my eyes. Okay, so going in with this big fluffy blending brush. This is a Morphe JH32 brush. I'm gonna go into this shade right here. It's called Heroin. It's kind of like a creamy, neutral crease shade with a little bit of like a yellowy undertone. So I'm just gonna see how that will look in the crease, and it's a matte shade, so it's really nice and buttery, and I'm excited to use it. So as you can see, that just creates a really nice base for the shadows. It's super nice in the crease, a little bit more on the cool tone side, but it still has that touch of warmth with like the yellow undertone, so it's still really nice in the crease, and it'll just help the shadows blend out beautifully. Okay, now going in with this ColourPop E1 brush, I'm going to dip into this gorgeous shade right here. This is a bigger shade in the palette. It is called Globetrotter, and I also love how they have the names of the shadows on the palette. That's definitely a plus. And this is just like a really nice warm tone matte brown shade with a lot of like red undertones. So I'm just going to really pack that color into the crease here. As you can see, it's so pigmented. I'm really impressed with these shadows so far. They're really beautiful. Okay, so I just packed in that nice rich color in the crease, and as you can see, I didn't blend it out. I'm going to use this Morphe JH34 blending brush, and I'm gonna go into the shade here called Explorer. So I'm gonna use that nice medium tone brown shade just to blend out this darker shade. So these shadows are super buttery, and they do have a bit of fallout, so they're very soft to the touch. So as you can see, using this brush, I did get a lot of fallout, but it's actually not too bad on the face. Like, it's not really transferring that much. I do like to do my eyeshadow first, so then I can just wipe away any fallout, just so that's not a problem and it doesn't ruin the makeup. So that's definitely what I always like to do. So shadows that have a bit more fallout doesn't really bother me. But just to let you guys know that the shadows are super, super soft. They're very pigmented, they're very buttery, and they are very soft. So that's just a little bit of a heads up. Okay, so as you can see, we do have some fallout, but I'm going to wipe that away before I do my foundation, and I think I do want to do a cut crease. So I'm going to use my favorite ColourPop No Filter Concealer. This is in the shade Fair 00, and it is their pure white concealer. And I'm going to use this ColourPop E4 brush to sculpt out a bit of a cut crease just on the inner corner of my eyes. Okay, so we have that cut crease carved out, and I think I want to go into this stunning shade over here called Dreamer. It's kind of like a taupey bronzy shade, and it's super pretty. I think it'll look good with the colors that we have going on in the crease. I'm going to first put some NYX glitter primer on the lid just to really make sure that the shadow just really sticks on. I always love to do this when I'm using metallic shadows, so I'm going to first do that, and then I'm going to pack that shade all on the lid where we place the concealer. To pack that beautiful metallic shadow, I'm going to use this ColourPop E13 brush. Okay, so now I'm just going to use this wet wipe, and I'm going to wipe off all of that fallout. And as you can see, I kind of use the wet wipe just to create a cat eye effect with the shadow. So that's a nice little trick just to kind of give you that cat eye effect, and it's super simple. Okay, so now I'm going to prime my face a little bit with this e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer, and I'm just going to place that in the T-zone where I get the most pores. Okay, so for foundation, I'm going to use this Maybelline Matte and Poreless Foundation, and this is in the shade called 238 Rich Tan. It is a little bit dark for me, so I am going to mix that. So this comes in handy because you can pretty much make any foundation customizable, so I'm just going to add a little bit of that white foundation in there just to make it a bit lighter. And I'm just going to mix it with the back of this brush. And to lighten it up a bit, I'm going to use this NYX Pro Foundation Mixer. This is their white one. Then I'm going to go in with this damp Real Techniques beauty sponge, and I'm just going to pounce that all over my face. Okay, so now that we have the foundation blended in, I'm going to use my favorite concealer from the drugstore, which is the e.l.f. 16 Hour Camo Concealer. I'm going to mix the two shades called Tan Latte and Medium Peach, and I'm going to blend that out with that wet Real Techniques sponge. Okay, so now I'm going to set my under eyes with this ColourPop No Filter setting powder in the shade Translucent. And I'm just going to use a little powder puff for that. Okay, so while that is baking a little bit under my eyes, I'm going to bronze my face a bit with this Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. This is in their shade called Deep, so it's a little bit darker than the original one. To bronze, I'm going to use this Morphe JH02 brush. This is a really nice big brush. It's great for bronzing the face. I'm just going to take a bronzer just on the high points of my face just to add some dimension back in. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with this Maybelline. This is their new liquid blush. It is called their Cheek Heat Sheer Gel Cream Blush, and this is in the shade called 15 Nude Burn. So I actually don't really use cream blushes that much, but I figured I will give this a try because it's new. So I'm just going to put a little bit on the back of my hand, and I'm just going to pounce it into my face with this Morphe JH06 brush. So I actually put a lot on the back of my hand. You probably do not need that much, but I'm just going to kind of like stipple it a little bit and then just kind of pounce that on my cheeks. So the blush is super pretty. It actually blends out really nicely. And now I'm just gonna wipe off that under eye setting powder that we have there and kind of just blend out the blush even further. I really love that shade of blush because it's like a really nice peachy color. If you guys like cream blushes, you will love this one. This is like, they call it their gel cream blush, so it's really nice. And I actually really love it so far. I'm impressed with all the new Maybelline releases. Okay, now I'm just gonna highlight my nose with a little bit of this e.l.f. concealer that I used previously. This is in the shade called Medium Peach. I'm gonna take that on this little thin pencil brush. This is a Morphe M515 brush. I'm just gonna place that on the tip and bridge of my nose. And I always do this before I place any powder highlighter on my nose just because I feel like it helps it stick much better. So I also have this new Maybelline. This is their jelly highlighter in the shade called 20 Metallic Rose. So I'm actually really excited to use this. I've never used a jelly highlighter before, so we'll see how this is. I think I'm gonna place some on the bridge of my nose first just to see if the color is light enough because it is a little bit deeper. So if you're a tan, then you will love this color because it's gorgeous. So I'm just gonna place that with this Morphe JH42 brush. So I'm just blending that out with my fingers just on the bridge of my nose. And we'll put some on the tip as well. I actually think I want to place some of that also on the inner corners of my eyes. That's super pretty. And I also think I want to try to highlight my cheekbones. I'm going to use this Real Techniques setting brush. And I'm just going to like place a little bit of that on my cheekbones and see how that blends out. Wow, that's super pretty. I think I'm just going to pounce that in with this damp Real Techniques sponge. Find it blends a little bit better like that. So this does dry fairly quickly, so you kind of want to work quick just to make sure everything blends out nicely. Okay, so as you can see, the highlighter is really beautiful. You can definitely sheer it out, or you could like keep layering it just to make it really pop. So I really love that. I don't really use like wet highlighters as much. This is like a jelly one, so it does kind of dry pretty quickly. So when you're working with it, you gotta kind of move fast or else it can get a little bit splotchy. So it's definitely not the easiest thing to work with, but it's beautiful and it's very versatile because you could even use it on your eyes. You can use it as an eyeshadow. You can use it for pretty much anything. It's really beautiful, so I love that one. And now to finish off the eyes, I'm gonna go in with this small little pencil brush. This is a Hank & Henry brush in the style called Monica, and I'm gonna dip into this shade here called Explorer that we already used in the beginning. And I'm just gonna blend that out on my lower lash line. And I'm gonna use a smaller pencil brush from ColourPop. This is their E10 brush, and then I'm gonna go into this nice rich brown reddish shade here that we already used also in the crease. So I'm just gonna place that shade more towards the outer corner and kind of just connect it to the top part. And now Maybelline also came out with this liquid liner. This is their Hyper Easy Brush Tip Liner. This is their black one. It's in the shade called 800 Pitch Black. I'm just gonna use a little bit of this black liner just to tightline the top of my lid because I'm going to put on a pair of false lashes and put some mascara on. So before I do that, I'm just gonna use this. I really like that liner. It is so pigmented, it's really easy to work with, and I'm loving it. So that's a new product from Maybelline that's really great. And I do have a lot of Maybelline in this tutorial. I also have their new mascara. This is the Falsies Lash Lift Mascara in the shade called Blackest Black. And I'm just gonna place some of that on my lashes. So now I'm gonna quickly pop on this pair of lashes I got from eBay. I will link the specific style in the description box, and I'll be right back. Okay, so the lashes are on, and I do have my brows filled in, but I always like to use some sort of a gel just to kind of lift them and make them stay in place. So I saw that Maybelline has this new brow fast sculpt mascara gel, so I'm just gonna place some of that on my brows just to kind of shape them and make sure that they last all day. And this is in the shade called Medium Brown. So I'm excited to use that because I love brow products, and especially affordable ones from the drugstore. So this does have a bit of color in it, so I'm just gonna lightly just brush my brow hairs upwards. I like to usually use some sort of a gel after I do my foundation, because when you're doing foundation, you could get a lot of it in your brow hairs, and you could see like foundation in your brow hairs. So it's really good to use a product like this, especially with a little bit of color, just to kind of clear everything away and make your brows look nice and rich and fresh. Okay, now for the lips, I'm gonna go in with one of my favorite lip liners from the drugstore. This is the L'Oreal Color Riche Matte lip liner in the shade called 114 Matting Call, and I'm just gonna line my lips with this beautiful nude brown shade. Sticking with the Maybelline theme, I'm gonna use one of my favorites. This is actually an oldie, so it's not that new. This is their Color Sensational lipstick in the shade called 920 Nude Lust. And this is definitely an older lipstick, but it's definitely a favorite of mine, and it's just a beautiful nude shade. So I'm gonna fill in my lips with this. I actually forgot how beautiful this shade is, and I think I'm in love with it all over again. I used to be obsessed with this shade, and like, look how pretty that is. It's like the perfect nude lipstick. And now to add a little bit of gloss on top, because I love gloss, so I'm gonna use this Pixie gloss. This is just a clear plumping gloss. This is called their Lip Lift Max in Petal Ice. It's pretty much just like a clear gloss with like a touch, a very, very light touch of pink in it. And now that I'm mixing it with other glosses, it's probably gonna change colors, so that's okay. Okay guys, so that is the finished look. I really love the way everything turned out. I'm super impressed with all of those new Maybelline products that I tried out. I really think that the eyeshadow palette is a definite must. If you guys love those nude, bronzy, brown eyeshadows, then you will love that palette. I'm like so impressed with it. It's super pigmented. It's really easy to blend out. The only thing is that the shadows are super soft, so there will be some fallout. So that's just definitely something to keep in mind. I actually really love that gel blush, that gel cream blush, and also the jelly highlighter. I think that they're super cool products. Even the brow product was amazing. I just think that Maybelline came out with a bunch of new products that are super impressive, and it's really cool just to see new things from the drugstore. And I love just doing a whole drugstore tutorial, so let me know if you guys like that kind of thing and what other brands you would like to see from the drugstore. I kind of based this video more on Maybelline just because I had so many new products from them, and I kind of mixed like some old products with some new products, so let me know if you guys like that. So please let me know what other videos you guys would like to see from me. I totally love doing drugstore videos because I just think drugstore makeup's amazing. It's so affordable and it's really fun just to experiment with different things from the drugstore. So let me know if you guys like these kinds of full face drugstore tutorials. I really love doing it, and I really love those new products from Maybelline. They were so impressive and just beautiful. So I would love to know what you guys think. If you guys like this tutorial, then please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!